my work with athletes and high-performing teams, there are two concepts that get thrown around that are very crucial to building high performance in your organization. One is focus, and the other is actually turning this stress that we all feel into a positive energy to focus and motivate us to achieve high results. So the first aspect of focus, whether you know this or not, there's actually 4 different types of focus. I'm going to break this down into a sports analogy. So let's imagine a quarterback who goes out into the field and scans the entire environment, the defensive line, the first down marker, the touchdown, where their offensive line is formulating. So a quarterback has to assess a broad external focal point. So this is the first type of focus. It's more of a broad external focus. The second type of focus is what we call the narrow external focus. Now, this is when a quarterback calls hike and then sees a wide receiver going and making its route, and all of a sudden it goes from a broad external focus to a narrow external focus and focuses just on the wide receiver's number on the jersey. Now, that focus is what we call a narrow external focus. The third type of focus is what we call a broad internal focus. That's when a quarterback goes over its strategy, all the different plays and ideas inside their mind. It's very broad, and they're thinking of strategy. A lot of different thoughts coming up to create that one play. That's what we call a broad internal focus. And the last focus, the fourth focus, is called a narrow internal focus. That's when a quarterback calls hike, and as soon as he releases the football, that finger or that release feeling, or maybe a breathing technique that this quarterback does, it's that one specific internal focus within their body is what we call a narrow internal focus. Now, in sports psychology or organizational psychology, we get distractions from all different places. It might be external distractions. It might be working in your cubicle and there's noise that's bothering you. Whatever distractions are coming your way, it's first important to identify, okay, what type of focus am I in that's distracting me? So if it's the external environment, maybe I'm focusing on a broad external focus that's distracting. What they say in sports psychology is do the opposite. So if it's a broad external environment that's distracting, what's the opposite of that? It's more of a narrow internal focus. Then all of a sudden, I'm focusing on my breathing. I'm doing what we call circle breathing or breathing in 4s. Whatever type of breathing pattern you can do that will get your mind not focused on these out there, but more internally, something that you can control. All of a sudden, you're starting to build momentum, some self-confidence, some focus, and you're able to perform optimally. So one of the concepts we throw around a lot in psychology or sports psychology, translated to organizational psychology, is focus and the 4 different types. The second concept that we throw a lot around is stress management, how to deal with stress. Did you know that there's actually 2 different types of stress? One's called eustress, a positive type of stress. Let's say a supervisor or a mentor gives you very hard feedback that really doesn't sound good or doesn't feel good. And it's stressful to hear, you messed up on this, and here's why you messed up. That does not feel good. And sometimes we can interpret that as stressful. But it's actually, if you really respect this mentor or the supervisor and you know they have your best interest in mind, that stress can actually be positive. It's used to elevate your game or to step up your game to perform even better. That's called eustress, eustress. A lot of times when we think about stress, we automatically associate stress to what the second term, distress, the negative aspect of stress, what breaks you down, where you can't focus, your judgment is cloudy, all these type of things that impact performance. But stress doesn't always have to be negative. There's ways to channel stress to become more eustress than distress. And that's something that we break down in our work. So those are the 2 concepts that I just wanted to share with you in terms of sports psychology and how it relates to your organization and performance.